Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. So today we are going to discuss about multiple row subqueries. So these multiple row subqueries are the subqueries where more than one row is returned from the subquery. These kind of subqueries can be used in the from clauses, where or having clauses. We cannot use them in the select clauses as we can use the single row subqueries in the select clauses. And also we cannot use the single row subquery operators, the relation operators which we use there, like the equal to, less than, greater than, less than, equal to. So for multiple row subqueries, we have to use other operators, like we can use the in operator, we can use not in operator, any or all. So these are a couple of operators which we can use for this multiple row subqueries. Now just we'll see what is this any and the all operator, because um, we are familiar with in and not in, right? So if we are using the any operators, right, we can use it with less than, equal to, or greater than. Similarly for the all operator as well, we can use it with greater than or less than or equal to. So when we say that value of, when we're using anything like less than any, right, in the subquery, so if you see this part, the value part will be my outer query result, and here less than any, and here we'll have our subquery. So the value is less than at least one of the value returned from the subquery. So whatever is on my right hand side, the subquery, whatever value it returns, right, if my outer query is less than in at least one of the value which is returned from that, right, then all those values will come up. Also we can simplify it saying like the value of the outer query is less than the maximum value returned by the subquery. Okay, we'll see it with example to understand more about it. So value is equal to any, like if we use equal to any operator, right, it means it's similar to the equivalent to the in operator. Okay, so whatever value is coming from subquery, that same value should be there in the outer query result as well. If we're using greater than with any operator, it will mean that the value of the outer query result, whatever values we're getting, is more than at least one of the value returned from the subquery. Or we can say that the value is greater than the minimum value returned by the subquery. We'll see it with some example. Uh, we have that other case where if we use a all operator, then the value, right, the outer query result is greater than or equal to all of the values returned by the subquery. It has to match with all the values, right, this outer query has to compare with, not unlike anywhere we can just compare with at least one value of the subquery, or that is the value is equal to or greater than the maximum value returned by the subquery. Okay, so we have the value, we have equal to, greater than, equal to with all operator, and we have less than, equal to as well. Let's go to some examples, like we'll try to see an example of any operator here. So I have a subquery here where I'm trying to get the maximum salary of the employees, and based on the department, I'm grouping them by department, so I'll get the maximum salary of each, means each department here, right? Just so this is just to get some multiple values which we can use for comparison. Okay, so our query is going to look like this, by using a subquery. The select, just I'm trying to select the employee name, the department, and the salary from the employee, where the salary is equal to any. Okay, we are using equal to any operator here, and this is our subquery, right, which is less than the maximum salary from employees group by department number. Okay, so one thing we need to just notice that this group by department number, right, this one is only specific to the subquery. This grouping has nothing to do with the outer query here. Okay, next thing is, now if we compare, right, the maximum salary values. So these are the values, right? We have 2850, we have 5000 which is for department 10, and 3000 for department 20. So is if the outer query is if any of the employee, right, has these salaries, any of these salaries, either 2850, 5000, or 3000, so that will show up, right, that's how any operator will work here. We can see here we have these uh, employees, the king whose salary is 5,000, right? The Blake, Scott, and Ford. So we can see only these values which we got from subquery, right, is matching with the absolute value, right? The outer query is trying to match with the absolute value of the subquery, and only those results are shown up here. As here, 3,000 is same for Scott and Ford, so we are getting two employees here. But if you see the salaries, we have only three salaries being shown up here, right? So if you see, the same thing will happen if we use an in operator. The same output, I have used an in operator here, right? And we can see we have received the same output. Okay. So now let's go to another example. Now we'll use the less than any operator and we'll see how it works. Okay. So this is a query which we have. Now this is select the this employee details where salary is less than any of these maximum salary values, right? Uh, so we have three values here. So we have 2850, 5,000, and 3,000. So if it is less than any of these, right? So this is the result which we have. We have Scott, Fraud, and we have these other employees. So these values are less than any of the salaries. Like in the subquery, we have three results, right? Three salaries. So if any of the employees are having salary less than any one of them, right? So that result will show up here. Now sometimes we can get confused, like why Scott and Fraud are showing up here as well, right? They are showing up when we use the any operator, and when we use the less than any as well, why these two values are showing up, right? So let's see why it's showing up. So we might be expecting something like that. This, like the salaries should be 3,000, should not come up here because we have used a less than operator, right? We might be expecting some query like the output like this, right? Where we have other employees, John's, Blake, right? Which starts from 2975, 2850, and 24050, right? So this is what we might expect, but let's see how it works. So first of all, we should not confuse with the less than any operator and the less than operator. So if we do a direct comparison of less than 3,000, which we have done it here at salary comparison, then we won't get Scott and Ford. These two employees won't come in the result. But here we are using less than any operator. Okay, so this works little different. So if you can see, the Scott's salary is appearing in the result because uh, in any operator, all the three conditions, means whatever is the values which we have received from our mean subquery, right? So if this is a subquery, this is a result which we have returned got from subquery. So our main query has to compare with at least one of these. At least if one of your salary of the employee is less than at least any one of these, right? Then only then the value will show up. So here, if you can see, Scott's salary is less than 2850. This is one of the department salaries which we have received from the subquery. So this is false, right? Because his salary is 3,000. This condition is false. And then next we have the Scott salary will be compared with 3,000 again, which is one of the salaries which we have received in the subquery, right? So this is condition is also false because his salary is not less than 3,000. It is equal to 3,000, right? But next, another condition will also be there, like Scott's salary is less than 5,000. So which is true, right? So as this condition is true, so we can see that his salary is appearing here, right? So your subquery, all the values, at least one of your values of the subquery matches, right? Like here, right? So which is the 5,000. This condition matches here. So we are getting the result. Now, if you have noticed in this outer result, we have ordered by the maximum salary. So we don't have King's name here, right? King's salary is not here. Why King's salary is not here? So we can see King's salary is 5,000, which is less than 2850, right? This is false condition. His salary is not less than 2850. His salary is not less than 3,000 as well, and also his salary is not less than 5,000, right? Because this is a less than operator, is not equal to operator. As none of these conditions match, means at least one, his salary should be less than at least one of the salaries which we have received from the subquery, right? But as all these three salaries his salary is not less than any of these three salaries, right? So he is not showing up in the result above here. Okay, I hope now the lesson operator is clear. Now, if you can see, if we write it in another way, this is similar to the OR operator. Now, if you see my salary, these are the three values which we had received from subquery. Now, internally, salary will be compared with either of these values, either of all these. Okay, so if your salary, the employee is less than any one of these, so in our case, if you see, King's salary is not less than any one of these, so he is not appearing. But Scott's salary is less than at least this last condition, salary less than 5,000, so he is appearing in the result set. Also, so we discussed previously, like the value of the outer result is less than at least one of the value returned by the subquery, which we saw here. That is, the value is, or there was one more clause which we saw that value is less than the maximum value returned by the subquery, right? So if you see the example here, right, to simplify this, so instead of comparing with at least one of these values, right, we can simply say the salary is less than the maximum salary returned by the subquery, that is 5,000 here. So 5,000 is a maximum salary. Whoever employee whose salary is less than this is going to come up. So everybody has come except King, because his salary is not less than 5,000, which is a maximum value of the subquery. Okay, so this is the meaning of what we saw previously. Now let's go to another example, like greater than any operator use. So here we're just reversing the condition where salary should be greater than any one of these. Okay, so when we try this condition, we can see King has come up, Jones has come up, Scott, and Ford has also come up. So these values have again come up because we understand this is actually the OR condition. If for Ford and Scott, this first condition matches, their salary is written 2850, so they are appearing in the list. For King, uh, this second condition matches, the salary is greater than 3,000. Okay, so he is showing up in the list. So either one of these conditions should match, like at least one of these conditions of subquery should match. So we can simplify these any operators using OR operators. We can think in that way, and then we will get the output. You can see, if I use the OR operator, I'm getting the same result here, right? So this is how our any operator works. Now let's see how the all operator works. It's an example here. Now the salary is less than all, and this is just like the maximum salary of this department, right? So if we see the maximum salary is what we had, 5,000, 3,000, and 2850. If your salary is less than all these three values, then only it will appear here. So you can see this salary is less than minimum value of the subquery was 2850. If salary is less than all of them, only those employees have shown up. Okay, so this condition we can just simplify the all condition using the AND operator. Like your salary should be less than 2850 and less than 3,000 and less than 5,000. If only all these conditions matches, right, then only this result you are going to get. Okay, this is how the any and the all operator works. Thanks for watching.